Let's get back to the discussions now, and on the second leg, fuel queues are still piling up around the country, and in the nation's capital Abuja, motorists say the unstable supply increases panic buying, which greatly affects commuter activities.
Now they now want the federal government to revert to recent efforts witnessed in the last few days, which saw steady fuel supply. And TVC News correspondent Kemi Balogun tells us more.
Getting fuel into cars continues to be a burden for most motorists in the nation's capital. The queues have significantly reduced in recent days, but with the on and off supply, fuel queues tend to spring up at the shortest notice. Many commuters are unhappy with this unstable situation, which seems to be degenerating, making it a lot more tedious and unpredictable for them to get around. Apart from spending many long minutes waiting for the next available bus or taxi, the price hike in the fare is also worrisome for these passengers.
We don't have fuel. Does that affect the price here?
If not within the town here, do you think that we are going along the express here? What they are carrying before is double or what we are paying now? Huh? What is happening?
If there is fuel, somebody can come out by to 8 for work and get motor. And as a result of that fuel scarcity, they have increased transport fare. Where we used to go 100 naira, now they carry 150.
People are suffering. You see the buses we are boarding now, 50 naira, but now, sometime from Maraba here, they will say 200 naira. And we don't have a choice. We cannot trek now. So you see that, in fact, many cannot come to work.
The lack of constant fuel supply is affecting motorists and cab drivers who say they are thankful about the present supply, but also admit they buy the product once it is available ahead of the rainy day.
Everybody is still panicking. As at Saturday, there was still long queue, but as at this morning, there are no queue. That's why we are buying.
Some filling stations sell 200, 220. More especially on Massacre and the rest. And they sell at the rate and some are just their pumps.
Last week it has been very tough for us to buy fuel. Though mostly what I'm saying now is like weekend we buy fuel freely, but on weekdays we often face so many challenges.
To go on the way, you will see that there's no passengers. So when you now increase it, how will they be able to board car from where they are to their working place? If they are going to increase salary, we increase salary for only the government workers. What of the ordinary masses?
The fuel scarcity across most states bordering the Federal Capital Territory continues to constitute a problem that is a long way from getting solved, with both the NNPC and independent marketers all trading blames. But these commuters in Abuja keep hoping that the government plays its part and work out a solution to the fuel crisis once and for all. Kemi Balogun, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, we have joining us TVC News energy correspondent Tolulokwe Ogunjobi in the studio right now. Tolu, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
I know we had you here so many times in December when these things started, and the promise was that, well, from what the government was saying at that time, there was going to be supply of fuel, the NNPC was going to bring in vessels and all of that, and now fresh scarcity is hitting Lagos. What is really going on?
Well, clearly there's a shortage. And that's what...
I thought that was taken care of.
No, that shortage can't be taken care of in that manner. There is a major challenge. We face a major challenge here. The NNPC's, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources has come out to say that there is a shortage. And bridging this gap, marketers need to come in. Now, the government won't say, because we've had issues in the past with regards to subsidy. The landing cost of fuel as at today is 168 to 171 naira. Clearly. Even government, through the NNPC, 26 naira subsidy is being paid. That's still an issue that the Senate and everybody is taking them up on, saying they are paying subsidy without appropriating it in the budget, which is also wrong. But NNPC houses lots of funds when it comes to crude oil proceeds and all of that. So I think they're just robbing Peter to pay Paul. I mean, you're not taking money from here to do this, but just to cushion that effect. NNPC, they don't even really have storage facilities. They use private storage facilities to move this product all around. And the trucks are also owned by private people. So why not just get genuine marketers, make this process transparent, getting Forex from the central bank? Because at the moment, also getting Forex for imports is on the high side. But NNPC knows how they get theirs, though they still subsidize at the end of the day, one way or the other. Many people, people around the ministry now don't want to use the word subsidy. They say differentials because everybody's being careful of that word subsidy. But one way or the other, the price 145 can't be maintained.
In other words, the same problems that existed that brought us to this sorry pass, the same problems are there. So whatever measures that government is putting in place, they are just stopgap measures that are not sustainable.
Nigerians are suffering.
Is it possible that the marketers are using all of this to ensure and insist that the 145 naira pump price is no longer, sustainable?
Clearly, that is...
Are they going to have their way?
Well, except government decides to start paying subsidy. So that will now be, you sell at 145, government subsidizes the 26 naira, the difference.
And that's something government does not want to do.
They don't want to do at the moment. But since the price of crude is about $68 to $70 per barrel, and clearly we don't refine here, we refine outside the country.
So whatever applies to any country in the world will certainly apply to us.
Clearly. Why is, if you go to Niger, if you go to Chad and all these countries close to us, they are selling a liter of fuel above $1. So it's easier for any marketer
to just divert to those markets.
So it's easier for any marketer
to just divert to those markets because you make a lot more money.
You don't have to pay bills, you don't have to pay your staffs, you don't have to run your generators to use your dispensing machine. You don't have to do all of that. You can just get your money clean. But I think they need to open up the downstream sector. I went out yesterday. People spent 4-5 hours in queues on a Monday morning. People are going through transportation on the high side, 75%, 100% hike. That's what people are facing at the moment. And it keeps coming and going. Don't forget, we're just looking at Lagos and Abuja. Ask people living in other states. They don't buy this product at 145. Let's be realistic.
From the get-go.
They don't.
Yeah. So all that while, even since sometime in November.
Do you understand?
If you, like in Nasarawa State, in Benue, Taraba, they sell, they buy
people drive
200,
they buy,
250,
they are used to
300
it.
now.
They are used to buying it at that price. So why not just come up? If the regulation will be very difficult at this time because we still import.
Okay.
So it will still be based on importation. Crude price is going up. It could get to 100. So we'll buy a liter of fuel at 250 or 280 at that time.
So what happened to the 250 trucks that the NNPC, government has actually been saying that 250
we got that information on Sunday through the spokesperson that 250 trucks has been. Clearly, I called somebody at the depot. Immediately that information came in and he said, yes, the ships came in, but they had some issues when it had to do with supply. It's because NNPC is the only entity bringing it in. So once there's any slight hitch, we feel the impact. The 250 trucks, according to them, has been rolled out. How long will we continue to roll out 250 trucks?
And they say it will last for 4 days. So after 4 days, we're back to...
So because it's the NNPC now, we have to wait. When the vessels come in, they bet, they discharge, they do all of that. Then you have to wait again because it is a process. Lots of documentations, but the marketers have the way they breach these gaps. I know there are sharp practices. I really want this to be noted, but
on whose part?
On the part of the marketers.
Okay.
Yes, on the part of the marketers. Some of them, they buy at ex-depot price. They say they don't buy at ex-depot price, while some buy higher than ex-depot price. It happens, clearly. People will tell you, I bought it at this amount, and that's the amount they actually got it.
All right.
So, it's complicated.
Yeah, on the front page of the Daily Sun this morning, in fact, it made headlines yesterday and so on. We see the a picture of a very long boat carrying 22,000 jerry cans of petrol and was seized by customs. So could this also be part of what is diverting and
like many have said, our borders, we really need to properly police our borders. Aside fuel moving away, we know of rice smuggling, we know of chicken products and poultry food,
poultry products,
as well as textiles.
So we really need to look at it. I think at least it's getting better. At least I think with the new man, I think the customs are kind of doing better.
How can we really say it's getting better, other than hearing from the customs boss that, as against last year where we made 800 and something billion naira, all this time around we've made 1 point something trillion. Is that really what it's about? Is that how we measure success?
Well, one way or the other, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like that, it shouldn't just be all about that. It should be about, you know, maintaining decency and doing the job the way it's supposed to be done. I think we are getting there. With him, with the new man there trying to clean up the place, at least there's a little bit of fear when it comes to the customers. I think they are doing it. We didn't used to hear all of this before, the seizures and all of that. It's more than before. You see these jeeps and all this latest 2017, 2015, not paying custom duty, and they're being seized. They didn't used to happen
My
before.
point is, are we dealing with the symptoms rather than tackling the real issue from the root?
You know, Nigerian issue, we have a systematic problem, and it's something that really needs to be fixed systematically. You know, a lot of issues surrounding Nigerian economy at the moment, and this fuel scarcity is really bad.
We look forward to better days ahead now. Nigerians don't want to know what those technicalities. They don't want. In fact, they don't care to know. They ask us, you go to a filling station, buy fuel for your car or generator or something. And that's it. Tololope Ogunjobi, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
We know we'll be having more of you on our bulletins going forward with the updates. Thank you.
Of course.
Right.